Hey, welcome back here to Unit 7-3. This time we're going to be solving equations with variables on both sides of our equation here. So on the left side you have a variable, and on the right. Let's see how we do this. Let's start with our math career. How about a forensic analyst? That word may sound familiar to you. Forensic analysts use scientific techniques to solve criminal cases. Lots of television about this. You can see down there that the salaries are pretty healthy, not as glamorous as being a doctor or an attorney maybe, but maybe much more exciting. You're going to need some math down there, and should be a pretty interesting career if that's something you want to pursue. Alright, today we will learn to solve equations with variables on both sides here. So let's take a look. Vocabulary today, identity, contradiction. We'll get to those. Coefficient, that's going to be our main word right now. Coefficient, tell me, in that expression 3x, what's the coefficient? Hopefully you said the coefficient there is 3. It's the multiplier in front of our variable. How about that one? What's our coefficient? 4. Good. How about this one? 6. What's our coefficient here? Doesn't matter if we have multiple variables there, it's still -2. Our coefficient here can be a fraction. No problem. Our coefficient is 1/2. Even a negative fraction. No problem. -2/3 would be our coefficient there. So, when solving equations, check to see the following. First of all, check to see if both sides are simplified. Okay, that's one thing we saw in previous lessons. Check to see if the distributive property needs to be applied. Do we have to multiply something through and then clean it up? And check to see if there are variables all are on one side of the equation. If they're on multiple sides, we've got to clean that up too. So, let's take a look at what we can do. So, just watch this one. You've got 7k equals 4k plus 15. So what are we going to do here with 7k equals 4k plus 15? So what we're going to do then is recognize that variables are on both sides of the equation. And what we want to ultimately do here is get all the variables on one side. So 7k equals 4k plus 15. What I'm going to encourage you to do is get rid of the smaller version of the variable. So which is smaller, 7 or 4? Well, 4 is. This is why I'm going to subtract 4k. Notice 4k there is positive, so I'm going to subtract 4k from not one side, but both sides. And so we end up with a nice straightforward equation of 3k equals 15. Divide both sides by 3, and just like that, you're all done. The trick there, the thing to keep in mind is get rid of the smaller version of the variable. Now you can move any term from one side of the equation to the other by following the simple rule, of course. You've heard from a couple years now, whatever you do to one side, you must do to both sides of the equation. Alright, your turn. 5x minus 2 equals 3x plus 8. So go ahead and have at that. Use your notebook there, work this one out, and I'll wait here for you. Alright, what'd you do there? Let's see. What I would do is I'd get rid of that 3x first of all. So I'm going to get all the variables on one side, and I'm going to end up by subtracting that 3x, not from just one side of the equation, but from both sides, which gives me a rewritten equation of 2x minus 2 equals 8. Now, back to a few lessons ago, get rid of what's farthest away, which is going to be that subtracting 2. So I'm going to add 2 not to one side, but to both sides, and we end up with a nice straightforward problem. 2x equals 10. We know that the only number in the universe that works is going to be 5. And sure enough, guess what? X equals 5. Plug a 5 in there at the very top of that equations. The 5x and the 3x, you put a 5 in there, you'll get two sides equaling the same thing. Now, of course, they're not all going to be that easy. They're going to throw at us occasionally some distribution. So let's go back to what we know how to do. Let's go ahead and run that 2 through the equation first. The expression, I should say, on the left-hand side. So 2y plus 6. 2 times the quantity y plus 6. Let's run that 2 through and clean it up. So deal with the distribution first. So how about 2y plus 12, good, equals 3y. Okay, so now look at both sides. Which is smaller, 2y or 3y? Well, obviously 2y is. So let's go ahead and subtract 2y from both sides. And guess what? You are all done. Y equals 12. Y equals 12. One little thing I've learned the hard way, and I try to tell all my students throughout the years, is read from the variable. So sometimes I'll make a mistake and not, but I really put my mind to always reading from the variable, even if it's on the right-hand side. It's a math class, so just go ahead and read right to left there. All right, now how about we end on a word problem here? What if they gave you something like this? 4 times Greg's age decreased by 2 is equal to Greg's age increased by 7. How old is Greg? So here's how we do this. We're going to end up taking, what I want you to do is, again, we're not in language arts here. Let's go ahead and take fragments of the sentences and just think about them. So write information down as it is given. So 4 times Greg's age decreased by 2. So we can just let G be for Greg's age, multiplied by 4, and of course decrease means to subtract. So 4G minus 2 is equal to, well, that's just an equal sign, right? What did the next piece say? Greg's age increased by 7. So whatever Greg's age is, we don't know what it is, but we're going to add 7 to that. Now look at your equation there. Looks like we've got 4G minus 2 equals G plus 7, which is the smaller version of G. 4 or 1. Obviously it's going to be 1, so I'm going to subtract 1G from both sides and rewrite our equation. 3G minus 2 equals 7. Why don't you finish that now and tell me how old Greg is. If we add 2 to both sides, we end up with 3G equaling 9. So it looks like Greg is a whopping 3 years old. All right then, Greg's 3 years old. All right, again, here's your, you have some, at the top there, you've got some extra instruction if you'd like it. Get to see Dr. Berger or his counterpart there teach. And at the bottom, you've got some digital and scored practice for you to work on. All right then, enjoy, and we'll see you soon.